Now, Dom, I know you have a lot of experience with clinical trials. You've been involved in quite a lot of clinical trials, from what I understand.
Yeah, I think I said it. Were I to be a criminal and I have a rap sheet, it would be really long. Clinical trials I have been involved with. I mean, I was on, many people have heard of 𝗧𝗿𝘂𝘁𝗵. I was on that before it was released. I'm taking part in a clinical trial too, as we speak. I have taken part in exercise trials where they're studying sort of exercise and movement. And all I'd say is that there's like global massive clinical trials run by drug companies that are all listed on clinicaltrials.gov. But also you've got to ask because they're desperate to get people like you and me. My view, Britt, is I've got this wretched disease. You've got this wretched disease, yeah? If I can just do a bit that helps researchers learn a bit more. Some people, I think clinical trials are testing something wackadoodle, where your head might explode and stuff. The kind of clinical trials that you and I would be involved with are the kind that our doctors have told us about or our nurses.
Right.
And all the safety testing's been done. Now they're looking for how effective it is. And this is where the clinical trials, it's like an inverted pyramid. You start with the safety testing, you make sure it works, then people like you and me will get it.
Right.
So,
And I imagine that there would be a lot of fear and apprehension for somebody that does not know that and thinks the automatic assumption of, oh, I'm going to have, bizarre side effects, or I'm going to lose a limb, or something that's, traumatic that's going to happen. Do you do research for clinical trials to see what exactly you would be eligible for?
there's protocols for taking part in a clinical trial, which are pretty standard across the world. And they take so much time to explain everything to you. I mean, if you think about how, certainly in the UK, many people know how rushed it can feel to have a doctor's appointment and how it's like ding, 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 yeah? Clinical trials are
Sure.
being paid for by somebody else. The people doing it might be your doctor, might be another doctor. Um, they have the time. This is the other benefit of being in a clinical trial is it's your contact with the medical profession actually is shown to give you a better outcome because you have more time to talk about stuff, etc. They're really interested in the clinical trials. It's super important. Let's say you take part in a trial which is planned to take for 5 years and you take 2 doses and think, nah, this isn't for me. You have this absolute right just to say, I quit. And they can't do anything. They can't even say why. You're not expected to explain yourself. You owe nobody anything. You just quit. It's kind of one of these things. I haven't done it, but I'd feel really guilty, I think, for just quitting
Right.
without reason.
Yeah, I
But
would
that,
think a lot of people don't know that option's available, and that sort of puts so much pressure to maybe why people are a little bit more reluctant. Um, for you personally, do you have any barriers or boundaries that sort of help you make that decision of participating in one specific clinical trial or not participating?
I would say, the functional things like the exercise trials and stuff, where they time your walking or your heart rate or whatever, for doing exercise is different to are you taking a pill? I think, especially when MS catapults you into an entire new world of seeing doctors, nurses. I mean, who the hell goes in an MRI machine just thinking, oh, this will be a laugh? That doesn't happen.
What would you say, Don, for those that are sort of fearful or nervous or have that apprehension in regards to initiating their interest in a clinical study?
Speaking to your doctor and your nurse is absolutely key. Number one, to initiate the discussion, they want to recruit people. A clinical trial is not successful if nobody takes part. So part of their, shall we say, target is to recruit people, not to con people into it, not to do that. So they're the ones to talk to you about it, and they will talk to you about it on non-you time. Brett, when you go to see the doctor because it's something for you, that's one thing, yeah. But if you're talking to them about the clinical trial, they'll often say, can we make an appointment and talk about this in a couple of days or whatever, and you can sit down, you can read up.
I agree. I agree that communication is key in
Yeah.
terms of the relationship that you have with your neurologist or your, PCP. It's vital to and write your questions down. This is always something that I'm always suggesting because you get to the appointment and then your brain, we already struggle with cognitive issues and memory problems, but then it's the anxiety and the stress of getting to that appointment. And all of a sudden everything goes out the window and you have no idea what your questions were. So write them down, go with a list. It's super helpful.
Take somebody else. You're allowed to, they can just be your ears. They can write stuff down. They don't have to participate. it helps review it with them later. And if
Absolutely,
you
I
don't want
agree.
to do it, don't do it. I mean, I do clinical trials. Yeah, there's the altruism, but they're for me first. I want to improve my care and my MS, and I'm
Right.
thinking about me for the long term.
For more information about everything MS related, you can find new videos being released by LivedHealth's channel every Tuesday.